Hey everyone, welcome back to a new Shopisode. I wanted to get a video out really soon because of what's going on in the world with the coronavirus. I wanted to get some content to you all. I know I have been pretty poor at uploading content myself. I finally am on spring break from school, and then also after that spring break, all of my classes have unfortunately been moved to online, so I'm going to have a lot more spare time on my hands. Another huge update, which was also a big point of getting up a video soon, was to let you all know that I accepted a job at KPMG. For those who are familiar with the accounting and consulting world, I'm going to be a consulting associate for them starting sometime in the summer. And so the big reason of mentioning that is unfortunately the shop is going to be moving. So I'm not exactly sure, I'm not exactly sure all of the details on that. I plan on hopefully building a shop somewhere on my parents' property. I'm not exactly sure, as I mentioned, the details. So there's definitely going to be a transition time. So it's going to be some time without videos and things of that nature. And I am doing a 20% off moving sale on my Etsy for any of those interested in blanks. The link will be in the description below. Trying to make as much stuff as I can and enjoy my time here in the shop before I move. So I wanted to let you all know some cool stuff I've been up to. I have a bunch of pen blanks to cut, so I was thinking of doing a time lapse for those who aren't able to get into their shop right now. Fortunate enough, mine's in my backyard right now, so I figured I'd do that, kind of help some people maybe live vicariously through me who might not be able to get out in their shop and just do some fun things and show some fun things. And then I do plan on making a full normal video really soon as well, try to get as much content. And also Zach Higgins and I have a new podcast episode coming up as well. The Resin podcast, the link will be in the description. So enough of me blabbing, let's get to some fun stuff. One of the coolest things I've been working on lately, I had a customer who sent me a whole box of these Cohiba Cuban cigars. For those, I'm sure most people know that Cuban cigars are really, really nice, and they are. So I'm a little nervous messing with them. I'll show you the first test block that I did, talk about my failures and my success with it, and I'll show you guys that. But this has been a fun project. I think I'll show you or talk about what I'm doing right now with a couple test ones that hopefully will work. And if not, I'm going to be cutting one or two of these open and using the leaves and mixing them in kind of like gold leaf. But I'll show you guys the other block. So this was the block that my plan was. I have these crystal molds and I poured some with just completely clear. They were going to be on the bottom. And I was going to suspend the cigars on them. And I stabilized this one. I didn't stabilize this one. That was kind of a test in itself to see if I was going to have moisture problems with either of them. After drying them for more than 24 hours in the oven, I didn't have moisture problems with either. So that was a success. But what happened, if you're wondering why there's all this crazy crap in the block, is because they floated a ton. So I had them glued down to these crystals and they just were floating up so hard. I grabbed all these other crystal things, the sphere, all this stuff of resin that I had lying around quickly because this stuff was starting to set up to try to push it down and keep it from floating. And even that didn't work too well. But the whole point was that I learned the success was that on the actual cigars themselves, there's no bubbles. There's no moisture problems. Some of the crystals have them because they had been sitting out for a long time. And if I really needed to salvage them, I was thinking on the bandsaw, I could cut right here, and then just kind of, cut just the block out of that. And then I for sure wouldn't have moisture problems dunking that into clear resin again. But what I'm doing right now in a mold this size is I poured up half of the resin and then just put two new cigars exactly like the same sides and let them float. I dunked them completely once so that it would be completely encased in resin at least, so that hopefully the next time I pour, because they'll be locked in place around here is my hope. It's in the pressure pot curing right now. And then I'll pour the rest of the half and they won't float because they're already locked in right here. That's the plan. And in the next 40 minutes or so, I'll demold that. So I'll include this kind of process throughout the whole throughout the whole Shopisode. So yeah, anyway, figured I'd share this experiment. The Maker Watch company that has made a watch for me, and they make a lot of cool resin watches. They've made some cool ones for clients with the cigar leaves. So I know that will work just fine, but I'm trying to get these suspended because it's pretty cool being able to have it completely encased. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on with this. I don't want to jinx myself. I'm knocking on wood. But so far, looking really, really good. I'm going to put these in the smoker. It's already heating up the other ones, and just warm it up a little bit again. Probably would be okay to just cast the other layer right now, but I just want to be super safe. I'm going to warm it up for probably like 10-15 minutes in there, get the mold warm, everything nice and warm again, and then go for it. So another thing I wanted to mention that's kind of new for me is Greg McConnell is a really cool guy who started making these pressure pot levelers. They fit super snugly in here, and this is the Harbor Freight pressure pot, but they also fit well in the 2.5 gallon TCP ones, which are identical to the California Air Tools ones. And what's so nice is, I'm sure most people could tell just by looking at it, it's made out of HDPE. And these can be found on Turner's Warehouse. He's also the one who manufactures the Turner's Warehouse Makers Select, I believe is the name of those cool new HDPE molds that are blocks. And then they have the little cutout on the bottom with a silicone plug that you tap it out, so there's no screws or anything like that. And I think I'll be buying some of those soon and testing those out because they sound really cool and really nice. But if you're curious on a good way to level your pressure pot, I mean, I just made this so messy last night with an overpour, and it just took me 2 seconds with my Stanley knife to pop all the stuff off, and it's good to go because you can see in the past, I definitely had some drips down there, and now, if I have any drips, they go on here, keeps it level, and then I can just take it off if I need to. And what's nice about this as well is I believe that he also has a size for the 5 gallon. Don't quote me on that, but I know I'll leave Greg's contact information down below because, as I mentioned, you can buy these on Turner's Warehouse. And if they don't have a 5 gallon one, I'm sure he would be fine with people reaching out to him and having him make some for you. So anyway, thought that was cool, worth mentioning. Moving on. So before I get cutting, and I can put some photos up while I'm talking about these Honeycomb pen blanks. I know in the past I made a video on making some of these, and I recently transferred to these larger cell. I believe it's 1/4 inch cell, and in the past I was using 1/8 inch cell. And maybe the photos are already showing right now, but what's so cool about this larger cell and why I like it so much more is, one, it's easier to turn, but two, the swirls that I do before putting in the honeycomb are retained way better, and so it looks super cool. And although I personally haven't turned one yet, I'm 99% sure it's going to be easier to turn because there's more resin in each pocket, whereas it was much easier on the 1/8 inch cells for the small little resin pockets to pop off of the honeycomb, whereas there's a lot more encapsulated on this. So those are up on my Etsy if anyone's interested. Figured I'd mention it. That was a lot of cutting. That was 168 blanks. Yeah, sped up. I think I was a little over an hour, sped up into 30 seconds. Maybe I even fast forwarded that for you guys, but yeah, it was a lot of cutting. So I would call this a success. There's ever so slightly that slight discoloration on this left one. I think that might be moisture, but there's really nothing I could have done because even when I tried stabilizing one, they still floated so hard. So in order to get them suspended perfectly in the middle like this, it's really the best I could do. I mean, I even think I left them in the oven for too long, warming back up. So I'm really, really happy about it. It's obviously not going to be as clear on these sides because it's the side that was touching the mold. But man, it's pretty, pretty cool. These are really nice cigars. I think I mentioned that earlier. So I'm kind of nervous testing them out and really happy that these are Cohiba Esplendidos, or anybody that may be a cigar aficionado. But cool. Happy with this. Well, everyone, I sure hope you enjoyed that video. I tried to keep it fun and exciting and hopefully let some people who may not have access to their shop live vicariously through me a little bit. So like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you're new and you're looking forward to seeing some more similar content. I'm going to be having a new video coming out pretty soon. I'm not sure entirely what it's going to be exactly. If I'm going to do another type of cigar cast thing for this client, or if I'm going to do something completely entirely different. I have quite a few ideas floating around my head, but the point is I'm going to be having some content coming soon while we're all stuck at home and wanting to entertain ourselves. So anyway, like the video if you liked it, as I said, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.